Can you share some of your thoughts about working with older adults and, where nature is in that? Because I think they're pretty cool, creative ideas.
Yeah, well, see, I'm one of these more mature adults that, just this thought of going to a gym or somewhere like that just has never appealed to me. I'm also a dance movement therapist as well as an OT. And one of the things I'm really wanting to work on is more like a functional movement group for adults, loosely based on the concept of parkour. And I'm about to go meet at this property to have a talk to them about whether they're okay for us to set up a bit of a course, where we'd be having some slack lines between trees, where we'd have logs to be, walking sideways along, stepping over, where we might, a bit like an obstacle course, and working on just diverse movement patterns. So instead of just our pedestrian,
sit to stand,
stand, walk forward, that we'd be doing things like, walking backwards or rotating as we walk, or sitting on the log and swinging our legs over instead of going around it, and just looking at our agility. And how to keep more supple and more agile, walking on uneven surfaces. And I've got a few people interested, and I'm really keen to get it going. And I've got to say, it's for myself, as well as then sharing that.
So I met an adult mental health OT. When I was sitting still one fall in Calgary, sitting still because I had a broken foot, and a broken right foot on a very busy person is difficult because I can't walk and I can't drive. So I had to sit in my backyard, and we have a huge, like 60-year-old pine tree back there and some other trees around. And I got to see them transition from summer to fall, and the leaves, and it was beautiful. And I sat outside and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this work I'm doing anymore. Do I want to be an OT? Like, I think I need to get back to like community service organization and like get back to something like really connected to like making a difference in people's lives. Cause I didn't feel like the place that I was anymore. And it wasn't because of me. It was just the way the system goes.
The system. It's always the system. Yes.
The system became heavy, and I felt kind of paralyzed. And so sitting in my backyard with my broken foot, with my laptop and my setup, I was like, I need to find something else. And so I kind of Googled my way down to the world of, first I went to adventure therapy, and I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting. And then I got even further, and I'm like, nature therapy, what is this you speak of? So long story short, because I could go on and on, but it kind of opened the door for me. It kind of planted a seed for me, ironically. And then I found Bronwyn one day, and I kind of creeped her for a long time. I would just be like, I'm just gonna look and see what she's doing and look from afar. And then I just reached out to her and I said, I need your help. I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I work in adult mental health. I want to incorporate, I'm going to start a private practice. I want to incorporate nature into my private practice. How do I do this? This is all so brand new for me. And so I took the plunge. I never felt like I was jumping off the like high board, not knowing where I was going to land. It was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. And I haven't looked back since. I started my private practice. I opened the doors last month, and I've got clients now. And
what is it going to look like?
Okay. So it's going to start with things like walking and talking. That's always an easy start. I'm going to go meet a fella at his house, and we're going to go for a walk. He goes to 7-Eleven every day. We're going to go for a walk there. And, because if he was sitting in my office, it would take probably him a lot longer to get to know me.
Yeah.
Some folks, it's going to be going and finding the green space that's close to their house, and going there and figuring out how they can access it and how they can go there to maybe find some space for themselves and maybe work on some anxiety and sort of feel connected and feel more grounded. I'm also I just want to go on a side note. It's not always going to be about outside. Sometimes it's going to be about looking out your window. So maybe it might be turn your TV off or put your phone down and just spend some time looking out your window.
Yeah.
It might be about tending a plant in your house or planting a garden out back. I've one thing that I'm really excited about, Bronwyn, and truly this, like, I haven't written anything down about this. It's kind of just been like, it's been something I've been thinking about on walks, and I'll talk to people about it, is doing, I think in the spring here in Alberta, which is, I don't know, maybe will be May or June. Sometimes spring isn't until July, but anyways, May's kind of my like my start date. I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold, I think 6 weekly sessions for women. And we're going to do it. I don't live too far from a park that has a shelter with a big campfire. And we're going to come together for these 6 weeks, and we're going to sit around a campfire. And we're going to talk about different subjects, like everything from expectations and loss. Like, I don't even talk about grief, but just loss, because we've had a great loss during like the pandemic.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about wellness, and we're going to talk about self-care and compassion. All around while we're sitting around a campfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like campfire conversations. That's such a less intimidating space. And we're out, right? And just kind of letting sort of that flow.